When you comb back past through these narratives and you look at the evolution of the text over time, you realize that the later Gospels are improving the story for you. So when we read the stories, we see then that the Gospel writers themselves have improved the stories. And if we are to peel back the improvements and study the text historically, we could not be convinced that Jesus actually died on the cross and also reappeared to his disciples in a physical bodily form.
What I want to do this evening is I want to present 3 facts for you that are strongly evidenced and are granted by a large majority, if not virtually every scholar who studies the subject, even the rather skeptical ones. Fact number 1 is Jesus' death by crucifixion. That Jesus was crucified and died through the process is granted by virtually 100% of all scholars who study the subject. Fact number 2, the empty tomb. An impressive 75% of all scholars who study the subject acknowledge this. William Wand of Oxford University sums it up this way. He says, all the strictly historical evidence we have is in favor of the empty tomb. Fact number 3, on a number of occasions we see that the disciples of Jesus believed that he had been resurrected and had appeared to them. We spent some time talking about how the traditions of the resurrection narratives had developed embellishments over time, and there were some legendary additions and so forth, and so therefore we shouldn't believe the accounts at all. In my opening speech tonight, I was pretty careful to evidence that predates the Gospels by decades. In fact, I'd be happy for the remainder of our debate this evening to just concede for the sake of argument. The Gospels are filled with errors and contradictions. I mean, it seems to me that what happened is you're assaulting this hill and you're throwing grenades and we're seeing explosions, but I'm on this other hill and I'm saying, what's he doing over there? My army's on this hill.
Notice that in the earliest strata of evidence that we have from Paul's writings, there is no mention that the tomb is actually empty. Paul says he was crucified, he died, he was buried, and he raised from the dead. But Paul does not say that the tomb was found empty. The belief that Jesus was raised from the dead does not necessitate that his tomb must be found empty.
Mr. Ali said a little earlier that he didn't say empty tomb. Well, remember, the concept of resurrection in antiquity was it always involved the body. And so if you were to go to Paul and say, well, Paul, why didn't you mention the empty tomb? He said, well, what do you mean? I said resurrection.